in for a treat for when you watch UF Orange, because UF Orange plays a lot of Roadhog, and their Roadhog player carried them in their last series. I know it's not something you've heard for a pretty long time, but you're in for a treat when you watch Yang play this Roadhog, and I wonder how UCF is going to be able to adapt to it. They are the first seed, so definitely have a lot of pedigree going into this part of the bracket, as we're going to be seeing them play up against University of Florida Orange, and our first map is going to be Lijiang.
Yes, and UCF has a pretty good history as far as them as a team. They were 15th in the Open Division for 2020 Season 2. They were known as Team Spirit, though, in that. And they also, it was 2/3 of this specific roster. They also were in the top 10 of the TESPA Varsity Collegiate Series. And that's pretty darn good. There's some really good teams at the top of the TESPA Varsity Collegiate Series. So, and they have Rafiki on their team. So like that alone is enough to worry about UCF.
And it says that their favorite composition is goats. They're after my own heart. I love goats. I miss goats all the time. There are some compositions currently that play a little bit like old goats did, but it's not really the same thing as it used to be. And I wonder how that's going to be going up against UF Orange's, they call it the meatball composition with the Hammond and with the Hog. And I wonder if they're going to be able to target Yang, if they've seen, what happened in their last series. That's probably the person that I would be looking out for if I'm UCF, to try and take them down and make sure that they aren't going to get as much value on that Roadhog as they did in the previous series.
And the players that will be doing that, since we haven't seen UCF on this broadcast, we'll give them to you quickly. Dean, a game design major, is the main tank. The flex tank is the in-game name is Finite, but they said to say Infinity. So very interesting choice there. We're going to go with what's on the screen. So if it's Finite, it's Finite, right?
Yeah, it's fine. That's what we're going to be calling it. It's going to be very hard for me to call him Infinity in that the way that it's written on screen. But then moving down, we have our DPS players. We have Sir Dr. Titan, but they just want to be called Titan. That's one where I kind of want to say Sir Dr. Titan every single time. And then we have Storm, who is going to be the hit scan player. They are a computer science major, and Titan is a criminal justice major.
So dealing justice on the projectile DPS, justice from above, Farah.
That is a projectile player. Yep, you're right.
Exactly. We also have, for the supports, we have Oliver Oshis, who is going to be a health science major, who is their main support player. They also have the one, the only Rafiki, the computer engineer major, as one of their players who is on the bench. And I'm sorry, but Lion King just comes to mention, and like if you have Lion King on your side, like you win. You just win.
You win. Have you ever been to like Animal Kingdom at like Disney before, and you see the giant tree? You haven't?
I haven't been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland.
I mean, we're in a Florida collegiate tournament. Like Disney World's gonna come up because it's there.
Of course. Exactly. It for sure is. And speaking of things that are going to come up, Lijiang Tower is the map that's going to come up first, and it's Gardens that we're going to get to see first. And while you're watching, don't forget, you have a chance to win some really cool skins courtesy of the Florida Mayhem. All you got to do, pay attention to chat. The Florida Mayhem will be asking questions. When they do, answer the question, and you'll be entered for a chance to win one of those awesome skins the Mayhem are giving away. So be sure to do that. And now we get to see here from both of these teams what at least they're showing right now. When you can kind of switch at the beginning, you can kind of do whatever. But UCF maybe going to show us our first real Echo play.
Yeah, and for UF Orange, this is a composition that we're very familiar with them, including what they played in that last series, especially when we were on Gardens, when Lijiang Death by Kitty did a very good job of getting a lot of value with that Farah. And for UCF here, I would expect them to take this double shield composition, again, rotate it through that white room. That means the Farah can't get as much value as you would if you were running out in through the open, and that's exactly what they're going to do, Labasco. Make sure the Farah is kind of hindered by the geometry of the map.
Death by Kitty not even in the air yet, knowing that they're going through that white room, so kind of waiting. Now we'll spam in to that room, so have to deal with those rockets first if you're UCF. The Echo, of course, and Titan also poking and prodding, but Finite the first one to go down to the skill orb. And then, of course, you have the Brigitte answering back to get Boosh, who's coming in on this meatball comp.
And there's just so much spam going into this white room that it's very difficult for UCF to push, especially with Finite being down. That's a shield you don't have. Yang on the flank looking for one of those picks, gets low, but he's going to have to take a breather and should be fine. And you can already see Yang up to his old tricks, just standing on the side here, trying to get some value with that Roadhog and with those picks.
That's the thing, too. Like, they have, like, 3 different ways that their crossfire is coming from. You have the Fair from one side, but Titan easily taking the Fair out there, especially because the Mercy wasn't connected at the hip, throws the sticky bombs out. Titan very close to getting that Echo duplicate. We'll be curious to see the target for that too. The miss on the Gravitic Flux, but Dean able to follow it up with the Hyper Spheres. UCF, maybe their chance here, almost have this point.
Through all of this, though, they are still ticking up our UF Orange, the percentage, so they're going to get around that 50 mark before UCF is able to take it. Whole Hog committed here, trying to just milk as much percentage off the clock as possible. Storm goes down. This might actually be winnable for UFF.
And now they also get out the Brigitte, so now UCF have to be careful. They still haven't gotten control. Big nade, though, will make sure that they can eliminate 3 targets. And now they finally get the flip over. 69%. Nicely done, though, for the start for UF Orange.
Very nice for UF Orange there as they take that amount of percent. And we are going to be seeing UCF now. They're going to be the ones in control of this point. And with UF Orange's composition, it's very hard to retake unless you're getting a couple of offset picks. And UCF, with the ultimates that they have, they should continue to snowball this. Make sure that Yang is not able to get any value off of these flanks. Keep checks on him every single time. Know where he is at all times, because that way that destroys a lot of what UF Orange's strengths are.
And Titan already making sure to keep track. Spotted him out. Now the rest of the team of UF Orange joining, and the target for the Echo duplicate is going to be the Pharah for Titan. Not a lot of value yet, but now getting close to that barrage. Not going to get a whole lot, though, out of the duplicate. Does get the barrage off now just at the end of the ulti, but not enough damage in, and now Coalescence to push forward for UF Orange, but instead they lose Boosh of the Echo, making a difference, and there's another kill for Titan, looking for a third. A little bit of help from Storm to get that.
And this Echo is being played very well here by UCF. The focus beam targets have been excellent so far, only using it against members that are under 50% health, so you get that maximum value. Even though the duplicate choice of the Pharah wasn't my favorite, the rest of it has been pretty on point for Sir Dr. Titan. Christopher is going to go down. That is an interesting play from that Moira. That means that when we recontest Hero Bosco, this is last fight territory for UF Orange.
My namesake, don't know why the Moira is so aggressively positioned. Maybe they're just not able to get back with the rest of the team. But either way, UF Orange working their way back in, trying for that hook. But Sir Titan able to do too much. Sir Dr. Titan, we got to make sure we get the Doctor in there too. Storm getting extremely low, will go down, but this is still looking good for UCF as they are in control of this point, working their way through. Yang back in, but Yang with the whole hog not getting a lot of value. And now the Moira, I don't know if that was the choice, but you get all that extra healing. They should be able to stay alive, no problem for UCF and take Gardens.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad of a choice. You just top off the rest of your team, and if you were able to get some kills or some really good healing done, you could have gotten that Coalescence, but it's kind of just a way to secure that fight, and UCF does a very good job of dealing with Yang on that flank. I mean, in the last Lijiang Tower that we saw UF Orange on, Yang was completely dominating the enemy team, and this time doesn't get as much value as he did in that last series, so UCF has the read, it looks like, on UF's Orange composition and what they want to be doing.
They are changing it up a little bit, though. You're now going to have Boosh go over to the Reinhardt this time instead. So a little wrinkle here, a little bit of a change, not playing the Wrecking Ball.
Actually going to be playing... That's Sigma. Is that going to be...
Oh, Sigma!
That's going to be it. This is kind of like in Ranked when you're just like, oh, I want to play Sigma, and the other person picks Hog. Like, this is a very interesting choice with tanks here from the side of UF Orange. They're opting for the Sigma to kind of negate and have some more shielding But Death by Kitty's going to get Storm at the start. That means there's no hit scan play, and Death by Kitty can play a little bit more aggressive now without that McCree on the field.
We saw dominance from UF Orange on this night market last time, too. They were able to control this point really well. The last time that we saw them on Lijiang Tower, Bush on this point, eating up a lot of damage and still maintaining players on the point. The only problem is they don't have a whole lot of shielding to stay up for long. Titan and Dean combining for the first two, and UCF will get control and take the point first once again.
That's a little bit where I'm confused about this choice, Labasco. If you want to play Hog and something else, like a main tank, you could just play the Orisa. The Orisa is going to offer you a little bit more shielding because of hers is off cooldown all the time. So that's interesting choice. That was why they've picked this decision to make a Sigma viable here as the main tank option, but it just doesn't seem to be working out as well.
Yang still going for those flanks as well. Not as much value as we've seen from him before. Gravitic Flux available. The Coalescence, though, leading the way for UF Orange. They'll get right back onto this point.
And UF Orange makes me completely eat my words. It ends up working out well for them right there. The damage and the sustain coming out from the Coalescence really pushes UF Orange onto that point, makes a lot of space and forces UCF to retreat. But luckily enough for UCF, going into this next fight, they have ultimates in spades. They have the Nano Boost available that you can throw on the Echo, maybe have the Echo Nano into something, or duplicate into something like a Hog, and then Nano the Hog for a Nano Whole Hog. That is an option that you can take here.
Gravitic Flux out first. The use of the hook ties it up, though. There's still 5v5 on this for both of these teams. UCF still trying to break their way in. Use of the Sigma duplicate. Gravitic Flux up into the air. Boosh, though, not able to find anything, and UCF whittling away to get back onto the point.
They do have the advantage right now. Boosh is still down, but Storm is taken down. Supercharger going to be committed by Finite here, but Sir Dr. Titan dies as well.
On the flank and making it work is Zekroic. So that's really working out for UF Orange, but the point has gone back over to UCF. So even though they got those couple of picks, it's still UCF in control.
Coalescence, though, available for Christopher. They can use it to engage aggressively here, but their picks are coming in for UCF somehow.
UCF still keeping control. Storm back in. Helps take down the Hanzo, and now just looking towards that front line, building up to a pulse bomb. Yang with the hook in, but can't stay alive because Storm is on the flank. And Titan on the switch.
Oh, what?
Massive! And then was that a sleep? Well, the Deadeye did get off. It just didn't have as many targets as maybe we thought.
That was a wacky fight, Labasco, completely from all sides. Ultimates going in left and right. It seems like at the end it was just a 1v1, and Death Kitty ends up losing using that high noon. And UCF now, again, UF Orange committed a lot of ultimates in that last fight. Now UCF is in the driver's seat when it comes to theirs. They can just flux here and get so much damage done in this next fight.
Well, they lead with that amplification matrix. UCF wisely will just go around the corner to stay away from it. Immortality Field is out early on in the fight too, so they aren't going to have that as they advance onto the point, which will mean that this Gravitic Flux can get so much value for Dean, and they are well in control for UCF. Storm putting on a show on the Tracer too.
And Storm played that as perfectly as he could have there. He goes in, uses the Pulse Bomb to force out Immortality Field. Once they know that cooldown is down, Labasco, they say, great, we can now halt Flux. Everyone is going to die who gets caught in it, and we can win off the back of those kills. So really well played from UCF. UF Orange going to get maybe one last shot to touch, but they might not even be able to. They don't.
They get held off. There were too many players in the way, ensuring that they wouldn't get there, and UCF with a very handily won map number 1.
I mean, it looks like a completely different team does UF Orange than they did in that last series where Yang was getting so much value on the Roadhog. And here he had a couple of good hooks, but UCF is doing such a good job of playing around this Roadhog that it's not getting the same value that it did in that previous series. Death by Kitty trying their very best to win that fight, but they aren't going to be able to in that play of the game. And UCF looking very poised right now to get to that grand finals.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way too, Kenobi, when you just look at how everything went for UCF. They felt like even when they would lose the point, it still felt like they were the team in control.
Yeah, I really like the use of the Echo as well. Echo, very good. I mean, against a hog in particular, you can do enough burst damage to where if you get them to 300 health and then you focusing beam them down and they basically evaporate. So I really like the composition coming out from UCF. The standard composition, as you could probably call it now, seems to be winning out against this little wrinkle that UF Orange has in their composition.
And Titan was able to play effectively off of the Echo too,
Mhm.
showed a very good Hanzo there at the end and played it to perfection. So looking really good for University of Central Florida. But for U of Orange, this is really the first time where we've seen them be out of it like this. What is the adjustment from them? Because we know this Roadhog seems to be a linchpin to their compositions. What can they do to play around it, or do they have to abandon it?
I would wonder, depending on what map we go to next, we did see them play the Orisa Hog, which I like a little bit better. On Control, you can kind of get away with Hammond because of how much disruption that he causes, especially on Lijiang, right? So if we go to another map, like we went to Junkertown last time, if we go to another map, an escort map, I wonder if they're going to bring out the Orisa, which I think I like a little bit better than the, Hammond Hog or the Sigma Hog, which I just really didn't like. That one didn't really make sense to me entirely as we went into that last map of Night Market, but hopefully maybe there's some tank line changes that we see. I think you do, if Yang is this good on the Roadhog like we saw in the previous series, you can keep him on that role if that is kind of what we're going for.
Yeah, you have to just play around it a little bit better, it feels like, more than anything else. And the Wrecking Ball composition's not really going to work on Escort very well. We know that. So maybe the Orisa does come back. Just your Chengdu. Unless you're Chengdu, but there's only one team that's the Chengdu Panthers. I almost said Chengdu.
The Chengdu Panthers.
I don't know why I wanted to say Panthers. I don't know why.
I'm trying to figure out like any Florida team that might be related to the Panthers, but
maybe I was thinking of the Carolina Panthers for some reason. I have no idea.
That's just a misplay from you, my G.
That is a huge misplay. I don't know why. I don't know why Panthers is where my brain went for Chengdu, but Chengdu Panthers wouldn't be bad though.
It wouldn't be good, but it wouldn't be bad. I mean, Panthers is better.
Oh, of course. I mean, when you're the Fighting Pandas like they are, like you can't beat that without a doubt. So
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, our next map is going to be Dorado. So we do know that. And we know that this is, again, a map where you can play Orisa Hog. It is viable to play that type of competition, especially if you're just like, we're going into this with the idea that they want to consistently play a Yang on this Hog. So Orisa Hog is your best bet, I think, on this map. And UCF, again, they've been playing very well around it. I would expect them to continue to run an Orisa Sigma themselves. Storm and Sir Dr. Titan, have been doing a very good job on their DPS roles specifically. So I think they really don't have too much to change in this next matchup. They just have to continue to deal with Yang on that Roadhog and any adaptations that UF Orange bring to the table when we go into Dorado.
Yeah, looking at just quickly, I looked to see what Yang had as favorite hero and most played hero for team.
Is it Roadhog?
It's Roadhog for both of them.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're probably not getting too much of a difference there. Is more of what I wanted to get. Maybe we could get a different skin for him, but we don't have skins enabled. But you can have enabled skins at your own home, right? So you should try and win some skins thanks to the Florida Mayhem, because periodically during these games, they are giving away skins. All you have to do, pay attention to chat, because what's happening in chat is they will ask a question. Answer the question, you get entered in for a chance for the prize. If you win it, contact the Florida Mayhem, Twitter, Instagram, whatever way you want to do it. As long as it's an official Florida Mayhem social media, they will get the skin to you. Make sure you answer right away, though, okay? We want to make sure you're getting your skins when you win. You got to get what you deserve.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite Overwatch League skin or Overwatch skin?
Like Overwatch skin in general?
Yeah.
That is like, I don't know if I have a favorite one. I've never thought about what's like, I always have liked the America McCree. I just always think that's a classic.
That's a good one. Yeah,
it's like a classic skin though. That's not like cool out there, wild, awesome. Like Genji has some really cool skins that I like. I
think Power Ranger Genji is one of my favorite skins.
Yeah, Power Ranger Genji, where he's basically the Green Ranger. Yeah,
that's one of my favorites. There's a lot of good skins in this game. I think we take a lot for granted. Even the new Mercy one, very good skin. A lot of the skins are something that are really good, and you can get them for free just by answering these questions. So why aren't you doing that? You know, during the game, answer those questions. Get free skins. It's free. Free 99.
Exactly.
You don't have to
The Miami Vice skins, by the way, that we get because of the Florida Mayhem, also really cool.
Very cool.
V-Flight was trying to give us a challenge to say the new Zenyatta skin, I think.
I don't even know what the new... I know the new Zenyatta skin is like it's like Mayan Incan kind of like style. And I think it actually looks pretty cool as well.
I actually haven't seen that one yet.
Red Riding Ash is also a very, very good skin.
Red Riding Ash is a really funny one. Yeah. Like that one, I need to get that
so
skin.
Much sense. It makes so much sense to have that skin. I can't... The coolest thing about Ash, in terms of like how they can make skins for her, is you have to make skins for Bob as well. And they have to match aesthetically. And I think that's super cool for any skin design for that character.
Yes. By the way, shout outs to V-Flight, who is our producer for this, and to Univath, who is the camera operator for the game. So thanks to them for everything that they're doing. I think that V-Flight's eventually going to give us that skin name to try and say it, I guess. But regardless, we get to see defensively what we're getting from UCF, and they're going with the Ash, and they're going with the Torb with the Orisa Sigma.
Oh yeah, I'm not pronouncing that name.
Yeah, I'm not getting that, V-Flight.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, back to the game. We do see Yang.
He wrote it in our chat, and it's not
covering the Sigma. Is this going to happen right off the bat? Are we going to finally see Yang switch over to something? Maybe they realize that, okay, the Hog isn't working now. We have to play a little bit more standard, and we do see Yang come out on that Sigma. So mirroring tank lines for both of these teams. Tesla going to be on that Genji. Not sure how much value that can get against this Torbjorn composition coming from UCF.
Got subbed in for this too, something we need to mention as well. Wasn't in previously and is now here. We did have one player already go down, so sorry, it was the turret that went down. So we're still even 6v6, but Yang now showing us something we haven't seen him do. We'll see how much of a difference it makes. Storm getting a lot of damage out thanks to the dynamite and just using her gun to great effect. And Sir Titan from underneath the cart, you know, Torbjorn's pretty short, can do that. And there's the first eliminations coming through for UCF.
UCF really doing a good job right now of pushing back the entirety of UF. Oh, he goes for the hammer kill.
He didn't get it.
Stolen away by Finite. That is very unfortunate. But with this comp from UF Orange, realistically, what you're looking for here is that Nano Blade. It is a win condition ultimate, and you have to wait. They're very close to it in this next fight, and Avarocious isn't going to have that Transcendence to deal with it. So if UF Orange gets this Nano Blade, they can very easily win this next fight.
Well, Storm going to be the first one down in this next fight, so creating something for themselves as UF Orange. They have to get through this Molten Core, though, of Sir Dr. Titan. There is a lot of space to walk through, but the flank from Dean pulls up one, actually got two, and Yang is dead as well. They're able to turn this around for UCF.
The flank of the Sigma works so well, works to perfection. He's actually able to solo out the entire backline as well as those two picks he got first. So Dean, we've seen a lot of flanking ultimates today that have worked very well. So the flanking Sigma ulti works to perfection for UCF, and they're able to stop the push from UF Orange. Now UF Orange, it's their time to shine. They're not going to get a better chance than they have right now. Nano Blade is ready and available. Unfortunately for them, Alvarocious has had enough time to farm up towards that Transcendence, so could possibly negate some of the damage coming out from this.
Nanoblade still can be effective through it, especially if the follow-up damage is there. Now out comes the Blade. Transcendence used immediately. They haven't used the Nano boost yet.
He's not Nano, what?
He's not, or he didn't use the Nano on the Genji. I don't know where it went. They still win the fight, but it wasn't because of the Nano Blade.
I mean, somehow, some way, a Vanilla Blade was able to get 2 kills in the year of our Lord 2020. You don't see that very often, Labasco. Genji is not the greatest character at the current moment, but Tesla and UF Orange making it work. And now they're going to be pushing on into the second part of Dorado here. They have the advantage when it comes to that supercharger, so they're going to have more damage. Also, Christopher gonna have that Transcendence, so they are winning in terms of the damage output and the sustain output going in to this second fight that we're gonna have here on Dorado.
Yeah, but there's Bob on the other side, and you know Bob does things sometimes. So
does he?
Sometimes. Bob can do things. Not always. But it's an ultimate. You know, that's the important part, right? UCF has control of the high ground is the more important part. They get out the Dragon Stride at the beginning, but Storm, Accretion rocked into oblivion. Gravitic Flux forces out the Transcendence to keep everybody alive. Supercharger used next, though, and it's not getting a lot of value. The cart is moving, though.
Dragon Strike coming in, though, to take people off the cart. Zyronax is going to go down, actually. So now, with the respawns, UCF is in the advantage in this fight, Lebowski, but that's a huge ante onto 2 members.
Not enough, though. There's too much damage to deal with, and UCF grabs control of the cart in an ideal position.
So we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left for UF Orange to get this next tick. This next point, rather. They are going to continue to farm up towards that Nano Blade. They've shown that they don't necessarily need it, but Alvarocious is going to have the Transcendence whenever that Blade is going to come out. The thing that I would like to see from UF Orange is you use the Flux aggressively, force out the Transcendence, and then you can Nano Blade or just Raw Blade and get some kills that way. I think that's the best case scenario right now for UF Orange as they go into this attack.
Almost lost some players, too, at the beginning, and they do. They lose their Hanzo at the beginning, so UF Orange already behind the 8-ball, and Omelette, she falls next. UCF well in control of the card again.
We're still going to be looking at nice shot though onto Bosch. We're still going to be looking, Labasco, for this Blade. When is it going to come out? When is it going to get the damage? And are they going to be able to force out some of the cooldowns from UCF to make sure the Blade gets a lot of value? Unfortunately for them now, with the Baptiste, you can use that Gravitic Flux and you can try to Flux early to force out Transcendence, but if you're UCF, you just use the Baptiste, you throw down that Immortality field, and then you keep the Transcendence for the Blade that is going to be coming up. So a lot of questions and decisions going to have to be made in this next fight with a minute left.
And Christopher K is so far away from the sound barrier that a lot of these ultimates are going to be super tough to deal with. Gravitic Flux, though, Immortality Field is what they use first, so they don't even have to sacrifice the ultimate. They use Bob, which you're okay losing. Now the Blade is out, but it gets the kill before the Transcendence can save. Quickly taking out the Supercharger 2 is Tesla, and this is a fight that still can move, maybe for UF Orange, but Storm, not letting that happen, uses the Coach Stun to back away, and then hits the headshot. At the end, UCF stabilizes with 34 seconds left.
And the Genji was actually nanoed in that fight, but did so little damage that I didn't even think they were. So the Nano Blade does not get any the value that they wanted to have. And now with 20 seconds, Labasco, last fight territory for UF Orange. They get one shot at this. No ultimates to work with. They need to get the sound barrier as soon as possible before Dean hits him with this Gravitic Flux.
They also have the amplification matrix that they're going to have to push into as well. And there's the Hulk going to use the accretion rock first, though. Genji trying to dash up onto the high ground. Gets hit with the coach gun. Immediately blanked off the map. No chance at all. Gravitic Flux Hulk pulls the rest of the players in, and they are quickly decimated. And UCF has set their win condition for the championship. What a finish for them here on their defense.
UCF looking very convincing, and if it was only for that Nano Blade at the Blade at the start from Tesla, this could have very easily have been a full hold for UCF. They just look completely dominant, and UF Orange don't look nearly as dominant as they did when they had their Roadhog combination. This just looks like a completely different team, and UCF is poised to take this map and take this series heading towards that grand final.
There's still win condition set, right? Like University of Florida still has a good defensive hold on first point that can make a difference in this game. And if anything, it feels like defensively is where we've seen them be pretty good at times.
Yeah, especially remember back to their first series, their defense was pretty phenomenal on that Junkertown map, but I'm interested to see what they opt for on the defense here. Are they just going to say, screw it, let's put Yang back on the hog, it's what we're best at, it's what we're known for, or are they going to make some other type of adjustments in terms of their tank line? We're waiting. Looks like it's going to be the Sigma and the Orisa. That was a Diva. I was about to be pretty sour if it was Sigma Diva, because I don't think that tank line works at all. But it is going to be the Sigma and the Orisa, so more standard coming out from UF Orange here as they're going to be on defense.
Yeah, it looks like they are... going to... it was funny because they showed Diva for a second. I was a little surprised. But yes, this makes a lot of sense. They're very late getting over there, Kenobi.
Yeah, the Tesla took a little bit of time to decide what they wanted to play, but it is going to be Tesla coming back on the Ashe. So Ashe versus Ashe matchup here between UCF and between the UF Orange. Storm gets incredibly low at the start, but is able to live. Actually, Bosch gets booped down. That's a very good play from the Hammond to start.
A good start at the very least. They get those players off of the high ground, so the cart will have a little bit of free space to take, but not a whole lot happening yet. These teams still poking each other out at this choke. What happens at the choke is going to be the most important part, and getting the pick at the beginning for Zcronex is a very good start.
Dean gonna go into the fountain, roll around, and try and get some disruption, but Dr. Titan is down, and Tesla is doing a very good job so far with this Ashe, getting a lot of good hits onto the backline and DPS of UCF.
It almost makes you wonder what would have happened if we were seeing this sooner from Tesla instead of the Genji. Almost gets the kill with the help of the Dynamite, but will get a lot of ult charge instead.
And Christopher K is close towards that Coalescence, so they have the sustain for this next fight and some added damage if they decide to use it aggressively. But Zyrax is down, and Omelet too as well.
So already UCF creating their win condition off the back of an amplification matrix. Dean in the middle of it all too, and Sir Dr. Titan about to get that duplicate ult.
Dean is causing so much disruption right now into the backline of UF Orange. No one was able to survive his dive and his disruption back there. So we see Storm trying to get to the top of the high ground, but not going to work. Don't put that one in the highlight reel, as very easy cap for at the start here for UCF, and they're rolling into the second point of Dorado with a couple of ultimates to work with. Specifically, Bob is ready.
Bob at the ready. Tesla has to stay alive, though, to be able to use it is the only problem. Getting brought down low, healed right back up, looking for Titan, not able to get those shots to hit, but now the duplicate can be used from above. Bob coming out from Storm, though, is what's making the difference in this fight for UCF, forcing everybody into that small room. There's nothing they can do right now for UF Orange.
And this is very scary because the card is still moving this entire time, Labasco. They're just caught in this room. Superchargers are ready and available for Finite as well, and they can end this fight before it even starts.
Amplification Matrix too, so they can't even come out of that room, and they are just being torn apart by UCF.
Bosch coming back, though. Tesla's making something happen with the Bob and with the Viper already. It's not going to be enough, though. Bosch is just waiting here alone with that supercharger ready and available. Might get taken down, actually, by this Hammond. No, just going to survive barely.
Has to get some healing, though. Not having any healing yet. Oh, he had to reload, though. The reload saves the life of the I almost couldn't say Risa there.
And we're coming back into this next fight. Labasco cart almost towards that golden box of victory. You see Dean going in, trying to get some disruption on the high ground. He does, and he's able to boop them off that high ground. Not fully, but almost.
So Supercharger for Finite. They use the duplicate onto the Sigma and just shooting out those Hyperspheres, trying to build up to that ultimate, but the shielding a little bit too much to deal with right now. Only 5 seconds left. Not going to be enough time to get the Gravitic Flux off, and that not getting value looks disastrous for UCF, and they're going to have to go back to spawn.
UF Orange can take a little bit of a breather here. They're able to stop USCF from getting to that golden box of victory, and they're able to stop this attack just a little bit longer. They use the supercharger, but not much else besides that and the amplification matrix, so not looking too bad for them in the ultimate economy department. UCF, however, is coming back themselves with amplification in the name of that supercharger. You also have the Zenyatta, who's going to have Transcendence, so sustain is the name of the game right now for UCF going into this next point.
They don't have
what a shot.
Oh my gosh, that shot incredible to take out Storm at the beginning, and now Yang can just hold out. But Sir Titan from behind getting one and evening things back up. So now you still have a chance here for UCF. Supercharger has to be dealt with by Yang, trying to get it out of the fight. And UCF, though, starting to get the picks they need to finish this off.
UCF trying their best to take these picks down. The respawns, though, are closer for UF Orange, but Omelette is down. So is Christopher. That's the healers gone, Labasco. This is done and dusted.
Have the mines come out to Bob in desperation, but it's not enough. UCF will be our team to advance on to the championship round. And a good 2-0 for them to make it there.
UCF looking incredibly strong against this team of UF Orange. UF Orange tried the Roadhog play, didn't end up working. The meatball just falls on the floor, doesn't end up working at all this matchup, and it's going to be UCF taking this victory and heading to the grand finals. They look like the team to beat now, Labasco. This is a very strong team.
Yeah, they get to play Full Sail University as the team that they'll see in the championship. So the number 1 and number 2 seed make it all the way. It's chalk here for the championship game, but it's number 4 versus number 6 that we get there. So it's actually kind of almost chalk the entire way that we have for these games. Pretty crazy to see. Not done yet, though, is UF Orange. University of Florida will get a chance to play in the 3rd place game against Florida State University. You'll be able to see that on the ELO Hell page. Or actually, no, they're both going to be, I take that back, they're both going to be here. So you get to see 3rd place, then you get to see championship game.
Yeah, stick it right here. Don't touch that browser. You will be seeing both these games on this channel. That just means you get more skins as well.
Yeah.
So that still carries over. Just because we're leaving doesn't mean you're not getting free swag. Rich Rat and Necro will also be giving you free swag. So don't worry about that in the slightest.
Yes, they will shill as much as I do, I'm sure. You know, that's always the thing to do because
that's a hefty challenge. I don't know if they can do that.
They can try. I have faith in them. They can tell you about the fact that you pay attention to chat to try and win some skins. What do you mean pay attention to chat? Questions will be asked by the Florida Mayhem. Answer that question. You'll get entered into a drawing for it. You'll get your name. Your name will pop up. You either Instagram, Twitter, some sort of social media, get in contact with the Mayhem. They will give you your skin if you're one of the winners. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. But looking at this here, I mean, UCF, we haven't seen Full Sail, but UCF, like you said, can play a multitude of compositions. It seems like they're going to be a tough championship contender against Full Sail.
I wouldn't be shocked if this grand finals went 5 games. Both of those teams look very good. Full Sail University has some good players in their own roster, so I think it's going to be a banger of a matchup, and you should definitely stick around for the grand finals.
You definitely should. And stay for the 3rd place game too. I said it was all chalk, but I forgot Florida Southern lost to Florida State. So not quite all chalk. It's because the 6th seed getting in, right? But still, pay attention to that one. We saw Florida State play, so it'll be fun to see them play against one of their football rivals in University of Florida whenever they do get the chance to play each other. But that's going to do it for Kenobi and I. Thanks again for tuning in, for us being on the broadcast. Come and watch Rich Rad and Necra, though. That's going to be a fun one after us. Stay around for all the games left. We'll see you next time.